Coming up on Network Africa, the first annual lecture in commemoration of the Chibok girls is held in Abuja today. The Egyptians show concern over the introduction of a 3-month state of emergency. Plus, a look at promoting local startups in Nigeria. Happy Easter holiday, everyone. I am Bisi Adebayo. We begin today's show as campaigners of the Bring Back Our Girls group climax their week-long activities to commemorate the 3rd anniversary of the Chibok girls' abduction with an inaugural lecture. The event had as its theme, "Where Goes Our Girl Child, Our Nation Goes." The Emir of Kano, Sanusi Muhammadu Sanusi I, who has been quite vocal on issues bedeviling Nigeria's development, was the guest speaker. The Emir's speech was presented by his daughter, calling for more to be done for the girl child and for the federal government to work double to secure the other 195 girls. It was an emotional event with parents pouring out their hearts as they spoke of their anguish waiting for their daughter's return home. The Global Week of Action will be marked in Lagos, Abuja, New York and Paris. In the meantime, a renowned professor of mathematics, education, Professor Grace Alele-Williams, is challenging the Nigerian army, the police and other security operatives to search for the remaining missing girls. The girls were abducted from Government College in Chibok, Borno State on April the 14th, 2014. Professor Alele-Williams believes that a lot more can be done to bring back the remaining 195 girls.
Stop. What stops the Nigerian army? What stops the Nigerian police? What stops all those people who are in one type of uniform or another bringing back our girls? How could we sit down comfortably taking more and more money for whatever jobs we do, if we allowed those girls to sit out there? And by the way, what happened? That some people came into one country, Nigeria. Some of them were Nigerians, some of them were not. And they did a very simple thing. They just brought buses. They went to a school. In the middle of the night, they drove our girls out of the school into the lorries and buses, and they moved them on to the next state. Please bring back these poor girls and clean the hearts of poor mothers. Clean their hearts. Make them sleep happily. For 3 years, we can't do it. When I think about it, I can't understand. Do we think about them at all? If we don't, please may I beg of each one of you here, not only from northeastern Nigeria, but from every part of Nigeria, ask the question over and over again. Has the Chibok affair become too late to even think about? Is it not an important part of us? Did that school do something bad for the principal, the education office, the minister of education, the senator in that part of the country, to completely neglect them? Why? If they have not neglected them, please let them tell us what these girls are now doing. Why are they there? By this time next year, all our girls should be back. All of them should be back. All of them should be back.
Away from Nigeria now, close to 100 migrants appeared missing after their boat sank off the Libyan coast near Tripoli on Thursday. Coast Guard spokesman Ayub Kasim says 23 migrants were rescued from the craft off Gagradesh, a western suburb of Tripoli. Survivors say the inflatable boat had set off with about 120 people on board. Libya is the main departure point for migrants hoping to reach Europe by sea, and more than 150,000 have crossed from Libya to Italy in the past 3 years. Smugglers put most of the migrants in flimsy inflatable dinges that get picked up by rescue ships and other vessels once they reach international waters. Some are intercepted and turned back by the Libyan Coast Guard. The killings and atrocities going on in South Sudan amount to a genocide, and that's coming from the Britain's Development Ministry, Priti Patel. She was speaking to journalists in Uganda after traveling from a visit to South Sudan. The civil war, which broke out in December 2013, has taken on an increasingly ethnic dimension. The UN advisor on the prevention of genocide, Adama Ding, has in the past said the situation in the country has the potential for genocide. More than 3 million people have been uprooted by the fighting. The South Sudan National Constitution Amendment Committee has handed over a proposal to the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Paulino Manawela, which should be incorporated into the transitional constitution of the Republic of South Sudan. If adopted, the proposals will be incorporated into the agreement on the resolution of conflict in the Republic of South Sudan that was signed in August 2015. The minister explains that he will present the bill in the Council of Ministers to pass a resolution and send it to the Assembly. The proposals include the establishment of a collegial form of government with power sharing between the President and the first Vice President.
My role as the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs is to take the bill as it has been brought, to be domesticated, to be part and partial of our constitutional law, and to be adopted by our transitional legislative assembly. But what I would like also to emphasize is that because of this delay, the government, the parties to the agreement has gone ahead implementing the agreement and the constitution side by side, understanding that in case of contradiction, the agreement will prevail.
We continue being very, very hopeful that the stability of this country will be secured and there will be a new constitution eventually, and there will be peaceful and democratic elections before the end of the transition period. Because part of the work that the committee is doing is to amend the Political Parties Act in order to facilitate proper registration of parties and also the National Elections Act in order to facilitate peaceful, democratic and free elections.